Welcome back. Manny and I are here to talk about the acronym PAR, and that stands for Presence, Attunement and Resonance. And really the way we're looking at this is something that bolts onto or potentially replaces the rapport part, which is not to say what was in those videos doesn't work. This is another way, and it's a way that I really quite like. So PAR stands for Presence, Attunement and Resonance. So the three things you really need to know about it are those three steps are going to establish connection in a way that works from inside out. And that is the name of the modality that we're actually teaching here, is inside out coaching. Presence in essence, and we're going to do a specific video on this, but presence is connecting with yourself. It's integrating your thoughts, emotions, and your instinct. And we'll make more sense of that. It's also about making your entire being coherent. Attunement is really where you begin to move from inner awareness to outer. And that'll also be each of these will be a specific video. So attunement is a physiological process rather than a cognitive one. And it's where you're going to start to track the other person and really see what's going on and begin to not lose touch with what's going on for you internally. It's also where someone is going to be getting, if we think about polyvagal theory, which we've referred to in some of the other videos, they're getting what's called the neurocept, or they're getting unconscious information or information about which they are unaware, saying that this is a safe social environment and a safe encounter for them. And that is an absolute requisite. If you think back a few videos, without safety, there is no capacity for connection. What's also happening as you move into attunement is you're beginning to turn your entire body and being becomes an antenna. So as you've gone from presence to attuning with other, you then look at resonance. And that's really where you're going to integrate your responses and their responses into a relational dynamic, and you move forward together. So one of the ways of describing what resonance feels like is if you can ever relate to a time where you felt really like someone's gotten you, to really be gotten, you're creating that container or relational container for your client. The way I like to think of this is 1 + 1 = 3. So there's the two individuals, there's yourself and your client, and then there's the relational space in the middle. And really what's happening is you're moving forward as a threesome, essentially, even though there's only two of you. Why you need to know this is using this acronym and the kind of embodied experience that sits behind each one is the most effective way of supporting your client to open up with you, to feel safe, and to be receptive to what you have to say. In putting this acronym together, we've drawn from two paradigms primarily that have really had massive therapeutic impact, and that is the field of interpersonal neurobiology, pioneered by Daniel Siegel, which I referred to in the rapport videos, and also polyvagal theory. The third reason why you really need to know this is it's a really easy way to remember what you need to do to create that container. You just need to think of PAR, which is the same. It's spelled the same as it is in golf: presence, attunement, resonance. Another really beautiful part of this is, and I think we'll talk about this in the other videos, is you can't do these steps as a checkbox. You can't just say, oh, I'm present, and you're present. And I think Manny's going to unpack the way that an out breath doesn't mean that you're present. It just means that you're down regulating. So you need to really feel each of these steps. And when you do, you're going to then be able to create both an incredibly transformative container for your client, as well as a pathway for yourself to keep on growing, both as a coach and as a person. Before I pivot to the how, which is really going to be, in essence, watch the videos that come and we'll break down each step. Do you have anything you want to say on this?
Yeah, thanks, Sam. I just wanted to pick up on one or two things you mentioned there. The first was, right at the end there, you talked about this not becoming a checkbox that you just go through and tick and go, have I done this, have I done this, have I done this? As we'll explore in coming videos, this is a deeply personal, experiential process that you'll engage in. And where this fits in, if we just take an overarching view, in our coaching model where we've got the connect phase, we actually sat down and really thought about what connection looks like. Often in traditional coaching paradigms, they talk a lot about rapport. And in my experience, the tendency can be to just think of it as just a checkbox you have to tick before you start getting really intellectual and heady and talking to your client. It's like, oh, how's your day been? And then you start getting into it. And as we hope you'll see by the end of this series of videos, there's a lot more to connection. And one of the important things to say in terms of power at this stage, and this picks up on something we spoke about in a much earlier video where Amr and I were speaking about orienting yourself to the process of change. And you might recall we talked a little bit about top-down processing and a little bit about bottom-up processing, and that type of situation that can occur when you're sitting in a coaching conversation where the nature of relationship and connection between you and the coachee allows insight and awareness to bubble up and emerge. It's that emergent approach to change. And what's really important to support the opportunity for emergent change to occur is to focus on connection and relationship. And so that's part of what, us Explore and PAR is about. It not only will it mean that you connect with your clients in much more of a empowered relational way, but that can also then create the conditions where, by the nature of connection and relationship, change can emerge for your clients.
Yeah. And we haven't really spoken, we've got the notion of therapeutic coaching or coaching. A good coach can also be holistic, and that's intrinsically healing. By using the approach that we're talking about here, you are really engaging the whole person. It is integrative, it is top down as well as bottom up. And it really works. So there's really good, robust data supporting it. So I think all that remains is for us to push forward.
We'll see you in the next video. And as Amma sort of mentioned, the how is really what's going to unfold over the next few videos.
Yeah, those ones.